Hello Camden Market. How are we all? Hope we're all enjoying some nice barbecue food. Anyway, my name's Hilary. I'm Barbecue Lads. I've been working with Camden Market to put this event together. I think they've done a wonderful job. We've got some wonderful vendors here and some wonderful barbecue food. So right at the moment, I'm with Dan from Carcass. If you don't know where Carcass are, they're right down the end here, and they've got some of the finest steaks and lamb you'll come across in the land. So I've got a couple of quick questions for you then, Dan.
Yep.
How did Carcass come about? How did it start for you?
Well, my background is restaurants and butchery, so I left full-time work in December, working with some restaurants in London like Barbacoa, Smokestack, Sushi Samba, just sort of like moving around, and then come to a point where I just thought, you know what, it's time for me to do my own thing, and I think it's just a love of meat and cooking, and I think this would be a good stepping stone for us to kind of maybe get a restaurant, and I think that's like the end goal, so that was the idea really.
Fantastic, mate, fantastic. And so, is meat your specialty? What's your specialty? What's your favourite?
Well, in terms of like meat cut or?
Meat cut, meat preparation, dry aged.
Oh yeah, it's got to be aged for me. Like, I mean, it's the only way to do it. Just pure beef flavour. Lamb as well. You can age pretty much anything. Aged pork is wicked. Just really, really good beef. Get good supplier, cooking it right with the right garnishes, keeping it simple, but still pretty elegant. And yeah, just sort of working with what you got. Don't confuse things. Just let the meat do the talking.
And what about the origins of the beef? Breed and origin? What have we got here, and why have you chosen this one?
So this is actually a shorthorn cow. These are ex-dairy cows, which means basically they weren't used at all for beef, so they're not kind of pushed through that beef process. They're actually, the cows are obviously used for milk, so they're obviously much older. This is an 8-year-old cattle. We age it for 7 weeks, and we buy the loins in whole. We actually get the whole bodies in, and then just take the loins off and age them. So as you can see, this has obviously been aged for a very long time. Yeah, I mean, this is the way beef should be. You get like, and it's dark. This is where it's been aged, so it gets drier and drier, and it kind of takes the moisture out of the beef. So what you actually get is, instead of all the moisture that you get in like a kind of the cheaper beef you buy, this is what beef should be like. So if we cut into it now, basically.
Yep. Ooh, let's have a look at this. And what cut of the cow is here? I can see some ribs there. So how would you describe this cut?
This is a sirloin. So these are obviously your rib bones here, and this would have been your backbone. Obviously, it just sits where the loin is. We used to use the ribeye, but for these markets, it's just too fatty. Like, everyone loves the fat, don't get me wrong, but like when you're trying to cook for numbers, just trying to trim out the fat. So this is your sirloin. Obviously, we just cook it on the bone, super dry aged, loads of flavour, nice yellow fat, which means the beef's being nicely, like naturally reared, given time to like produce. It just gives a great beef flavour. You're gonna get like a slightly cheesy flavour because of that aging process, and it kind of takes some people by surprise, but actually, like I said, it's the way it should be. If you can get your hands on this stuff, get this all the time, and just don't bother with that kind of 28-day stuff. Just stick to this. Get good beef once a week rather than eating rubbish beef all week.
Great. All right, so what are you planning to do here? This is on your menu here. Yeah. This is part of our collab deal, isn't it?
We're doing it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you can put an apron on and jump on the grill if you like.
I'll tell you what, I might watch it round from the other side and leave it to the professionals.
No worries, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, basically what we do is just obviously season everything, all the sides, get a nice seasoning on the fat, and then obviously we move around there if you like. But we're serving this with a pickled herb shallot salad, so just pickled shallots, fresh picked herbs, the bone marrow, and some béarnaise.
Okay.
Just really simple, nothing too much, just letting the meat do the talking. So.
All right, and the technique for cooking it here, how would you describe it? Are you going to sear it, then cook it, or cook it, then sear it?
So we, obviously, because we're working with the barbecues, it's different when you barbecue meat to when you're pan frying it. When you pan fry it, you can actually keep all the natural fats inside the pan, and that helps you cook it. Yeah. When you barbecue it through the grates, you're obviously going to lose some of that fat. So we use an aged kind of beef dripping just to help sear the meat in. So I'll put the meat down on the barbecue like this, and that's going to obviously caramelise all this fat here, get it nice and crispy. Yep. And then we'll just give the meat a lick of like the aged beef fat, and that's going to seal in all those juices straight away, and we'll just let it do its thing. So once we flip it, just let the meat do it. Don't move it, don't flip and flop it. Just do it, and then we'll flip it around again, another 4 or 5 minutes, and then just let it rest. Super important, especially when you're cooking meat on the bone. Just let it rest. We're just going to end up with like some pink there, some grey over here. Just let it kind of
resting and leaving itself out, will it?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so let's show us then. We're going to cook it on the grill over here.
Dan's the guy. He can sort out. He's been cooking these things all day, so he'll be able to do it. So obviously using the briquettes, big K briquettes, just maintain the heat for a long time. In the drum cook at the back, we use oak to smoke the chicken. We don't really use the wood so much in the grills. It's just going to produce too much smoke. Obviously, when running these gazebos, you're quite limited to what you can actually do. But yeah, so we're just going to take the fat on, seal all the sides, let it rest, and then carve it up, really.
Okay. All right, this sounds fantastic. So, like, there it is on the fat side there. How long is that going to stay there for, do you think? Or are you're watching it by eye?
Yeah. Depending on like the thickness of the fat, really. These sirloins got a nice fat covering, but it's not too much like the ribeyes. So that fat will about 3-4 minutes for like nicely caramelise and crisp up, and then we'll start sealing the meat, and then just the rest, and it comes to life like that. And we'll slice it up, so all the garnish. It'd take about not more than 15 minutes to cook that the whole way, including rest time. They're not that big, one bone sections.
No worries. All right, well, I think that's got a few more minutes on the grill then, doesn't it, till it's ready. So I'm going to end it on that note, and I'm going to get ready to chow down on one of these, particularly with the bone marrow as well, and the salad. It's down here at the end stall, Carcass they're called. Fantastic, guys. Thanks a lot, Dan, for catching up, and thanks a lot for telling us about your steaks.
Absolute pleasure.
No worries at all. Thanks, everybody. Get into a nice steak down here. Cheers.